Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode. Today we've got a 3x1K on the rowing machine to complete. Just putting the fan on, pointing it to the ceiling to cool down the room as we set up the live stream. So I think I've sorted out a couple of things. Seems to be a new internet provider and they're struggling to hold the connection when we're live streaming. So we'll see what goes on in this one. I think I've fixed a couple of things. Fingers crossed for that. But we're gonna get a warm-up done, sort out this computer, set it up, and then we get started for the 3x1K. It's gonna be a burner. Oh yeah! Okay, so we have the erg set up, the fans blowing nice and wonderfully, some air around the room, hopefully cooling it down. Now starting the warm-up for this 3x1K, since it's longer but not too long. I want to get nice and sweaty, but not overheating, kind of like I tried to, or almost did, in the 5K. So, nice paddle, nice and easy. UT2 paddle, a little bit harder, bursts, and some longer bursts. So nice and easy, nice and simple, getting ready, getting warm, but not too warm. So hopefully the fan will do its job, and not have me get too warm, if that makes sense. But now, warming up, set up the live stream, and we get to the workout. Oh yeah! And we've finished the 3x1K for today. Had a little bit of a warm down, a little bit of recovery, and finished the live stream. Live stream, no errors this time, so I changed a couple of the settings on the router as well as changed a couple of cables. Fingers crossed that's it sorted, but we'll see in the future if that is actually sorted. To the workout. Now, the idea of this workout was to test out the legs and to see how they were doing, if I feel like there's been an improvement from all the work that I've been doing. It's kind of hard to judge just by one workout, but for these splits themselves, so for the first one, 30 and 27.7, that 30, I finished that workout and I was surprised how easy it felt, so it was pretty good. And then maybe halfway through the second one, I was like, okay, now there's the burn. And then on the last one, it was a kind of a case of, okay, I've had a score for the second one. How fast or how much faster can I make the third one versus the second one? And it ended up being, I saw a bit slower than the second one's score with about 300-400 to go. And last sort of 10 strokes, I just gave it some quite large ones, and it ended up being 0.1 faster. So this workout itself, as a standalone workout, is a mental battle for sure. But obviously, if you go out way too hard, then it's going to be a supreme mental battle and just trying to hold on. If you get the splits right, I think you want to have all of them reasonably difficult, but that first one markedly easier than the second. So I was trying to do a 5-second jump onto the second one and then see what was there in the third one. I wanted to get more than 0.1 faster, and I think maybe there was a little bit more judging by the last 10 strokes, but not a few seconds worth that I was sort of, after that second one, I was like, well, maybe if I do 5 seconds on the third one, that would be absolutely epic. But it looks like I would have to start that first one a bit slower to actually get those jumps. But then again, I want to sort of really test out my body, test out the legs to see how we're doing. And it ended up being a nice sort of step in the rates, 32, 34, 36. Maybe if I kept the rates more consistent, so say maybe 34 through the whole thing, would it have been even easier at the first one, but hard on the second one? Maybe I could have stepped up the rate a bit higher on the last one, but then again, I've already done 2 pieces, so maybe not. And then looking forward to the 2K, whenever that is. So my 2K PB 549, which is a 27.5 is 550. So 27.4, I think it was. 27.3, maybe even less than that, maybe 27.2. Under 27.5, which none of these intervals were. But obviously a 2K is 1 piece, and this is 3 pieces with 3 minutes rest. The rest itself was interesting because I wasn't sure. So I've done obviously barely any rest workouts with a lot of work, and a lot of rest workouts with barely any work in between and the intervals. And this one, basically it was equal rest to work, but it still felt like it was not too much rest, if you know what I mean. So you have workouts where, yes, the rest might be equal to the work, but it feels like that rest is plenty to keep going on the next one. But for 3 minutes of work, it feels like 3 minutes of rest isn't equal, if that makes sense. So it just feels like when you start the next interval, obviously you're not gonna be fresh, but when you start the next interval, it's not quite, okay, here we go, we're firing on all cylinders. You've maybe lost a cylinder or so after each interval. And again, back to that mental battle kind of thing, always positive. Just putting in these type of workouts doesn't have to necessarily be a judge of where you are or an assessment of where you are. But if you can put in these workouts every so often, not necessarily a 3x1K, but this type of workout, maybe you've done your 4-week block of steady low intensity and you want to just see what it feels like again to have legs burning, throwing in this workout. Whether you do really well or really badly isn't necessarily the point. It's more just having a little bit of that variation, because remember, variation is one of the keys to motivation. Or you could see, for example, if, okay, I've done this 4 weeks of low intensity, you give yourself a week of a little bit of rest, a little bit of high intensity, a little bit of rate work, and then do one of these, then you can really sort of use it as an assessment. So as always, if you've done that sort of big block of low intensity training, it's going to be really difficult to just hop into some high intensity. I've been doing some high intensity for the last few weeks now, with like the half-hour free rate and the 1 minute on or 1.5 minutes on, 90 seconds on, stuff like that, to sort of see how I am rather than just throwing in a 3x1K. And that will be it for today's episode, Jam Squad. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Different workout again, just to see where I stand with the fitness gains, with the leg gains, with the rowing machine gains, as restrictions here in England start to open up a little bit. Might be able to get onto the water soon. But that's a future Jam Squad to look forward to. And as always, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will see you It's already Monday. Welcome to the new week, and I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, yeah.